Let's get into it, shall we? Solar flare. OMG. And I don't know anything about it, so here comes the sun. How a massive solar storm could put Canada at risk. By Carol McGrath, Global News. I'm not gonna watch the video, it's probably copyrighted.
Get ready. An epic solar storm may be heading our way. One so big it could knock out power grids, damage satellites, cause internet blackouts, and essentially take down our modern life as we know it. It's known as a 1 in 100 years solar storm.
So already I'm hooked. I don't know who's even in this movie, but I'm fucking in. Alright, let's find out. Solar storms are an explosion of energized particles hurled from the sun known as flares or coronal mass ejections, CME. Baby, I want a coronal mass ejection. Not gonna lie, I just wanted to hear this character voice. Which one? I can continue to read this in the voice of the guy who does trailers for blockbuster movies. If you want, sugar.
Small scale storms occur regularly, but every century or so, there is an extreme eruption. On Earth, we're about to enter a busy season for solar activity. According to research scientist Robin Fiore, high solar activity occurs on an 11-year cycle, and we just got out of a low period.
For the record, when you just said it was a 1 in 100 years and now it's 11, like, fuck off. You're just shortchanging. That's just bullshit. Sorry.
We're ramping up from a period of very low activity where we didn't see a lot of flares or
Coronal mass ejection.
to a point where we're starting to see more and more activity. And we're starting to expect the potential for more impacts, Fiore said. Fiore and her colleagues at the Canadian Hazards Information Service monitor the sun's activity using both satellites located near and above the Earth and ground based instruments.
Wait, they don't use satellites on the Earth? Just the ones in the sky were higher than the sky? That seems so weird. I'm fucking rolling around laughing. Yeah, things that sound like porn but aren't. Although, there's probably a porn for solar flares.
These help us to look at the impacts of the solar activity on our magnetic field and also on the upper atmosphere and ionosphere, so that we can look at potential impacts to the systems on and near the Earth, Fiore told Global's current affairs program, The New Reality. The electrical power grid is one of those systems. With over 4 million customers, Hydro-Quebec is acutely aware of the risks. Louis Gibson, an engineer for Hydro-Quebec, says the utility was hit by a big storm in March 1989 that caused a 9-hour blackout. To this day, this is the biggest impact a solar storm has had on any electrical utility. So this, for us, was a wake-up call, and we had to take this matter very, very seriously, Gibson said.
9 hours of the purge. I do find it, like, I get that a 9 hour blackout is a serious impediment to a lot of people. And if it's in winter, that can be a real threat to humans. But also, like, okay, the sun hates us sometimes. It will give you cancer. It will take away 9 hours of your Facebooking.
That power failure forced the public utility to install safety equipment to protect the system from sudden electrical surges caused by solar storms. It now regularly runs simulation scenarios to test everything. So there is a standard in place now in North America where the electrical utilities have to make sure you have to plan and prepare, and it works so they can withstand a 1 in 100 year strong
Coronal mass ejection.
So just for this, we get help from various space, weather, experts.
Probably all of Space Force. What I love about this is if it destroys satellites, like Elon just spent a fuck ton of money for his SpaceX shit, and it's like
That once in 100 years storm is what everyone worries about. The world witnessed one in 1859. It is known as the Carrington event, named after the amateur astronomer Richard Carrington, who spotted the activity on the sun. The storm was so big that it literally set telegraph wires on fire.
boy, I sure hope it doesn't burn up the tubes that are the internet.
The storm was so big that it literally set telegraph wires on fire. It is likely to happen again, but this time it will impact a lot more than just our power grids.
Elon used government subsidies to get them up there. He'll just do it again. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the nice thing about when you're rich. You don't have to be successful. You can just use the government.
Energetic particles coming from the sun can directly
Okay, I can't. I'm going to have to. It's a little hard on the throat. So, yeah, it can fuck with stuff, disable and reduce the lifespan of satellites. Critical cables running into the sea might also be at risk. These cables are the thing that you use when you're doing a Zoom call, when you're surfing on the internet, or when you're trying to get content from one country to another. There's probably enough cable in the seas to go around the world about 30 to 50 times. A component of these cables, known as a repeater, is particularly sensitive to solar activity. It helps power all the electronics, but it left unprotected from a storm, it could cause surges in the system and cables could get fried.
If you have a really big storm event, that could induce quite a large current to go through the cable,
said Frisch, who is based north of London in the United Kingdom. Me, I use a surge protector. Just saying. So there's a solution. Could in fact turn the cable system down and disconnect it until you were sure the event was finished. But the good thing about these really extreme events is that you get some warning for them. Less warning than you think, because they're already 8 minutes in the future, man. Fiore said by monitoring solar activity, they should be able to provide utilities and companies with a 1 to 3 day warning depending on the size of the storm. So 8 minutes is fucking nothing. That's the role of the Canadian Hazards Information Service, because space weather is a hazard. It's a hazard to the technological age. So the first thing I'll say about this is I fucking love the term space weather. I think space weather, fucking brilliant. This is why, then why do we have 5G poles? Elon, and this is just more of that COVID bullshit fucking lefties are causing this, vote Trump. It's true. It's true. It's clearly fake news because the government wants you to be afraid. And they want to be able to take down the power grid at any time so that the only power in your house comes from the vaccine microchip radiating Wi-Fi power into the world so that the 5Gs can come and the crows will all know what we're doing because they have cameras inside them and they're robots. And that just makes sense because why would I have to justify any of this? It's madness.
First off, I want to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Thank you to my patrons that support me on Patreon. I am a little streamer, and these people are all really awesome for supporting me. Thank you to I Am Canadian. Special huge thanks go to my one prophet, Shithead Dave Anderson. And of course, my final tier of supporters is The Gods. This tier is the most expensive and likely to never have any members, but Patreon really told me I should have one, so it's true, I guess. There are no gods. I try to put up stuff at least once a week, and I live stream every Saturday at noon Mountain Time on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, like an old man. Again, thanks for watching, and have a kick-ass day.